Hanging out, gonna tell you what that give's all about. Trash all fantastic, trash all fantastic, trash.
If there's one guitar effects pedal out there that seems to be the most hated guitar effects pedal of all time, it's gotta be the Boss MT-2 Metal Zone.
A simple Google search of worst pedals ever yields countless videos and links talking shit about the Metal Zone.
There's even videos online educating the unwashed masses on the proper way to use a Boss Metal Zone, because clearly a Metal Zone requires a gentleman of good breeding with a proper touch.
The Boss MT-2 Metal Zone was released in 1991.
That's weird. For some reason, I thought the Metal Zone would have been released in the 80s to capitalize on the wave of 80s metal.
As it turns out, the Roland Corporation, Boss's parent company, tried to capitalize on this trend with the release of the Boss HM2 Heavy Metal in 1983.
Apparently, the HM2 turned out to be a commercial flop, largely ignored during its 8-year run, which seems surprising given how long it was available.
By the way, what's the deal with the Boss naming system? As far as I know, there's no Boss HM1, and this goes for the Metal Zone as well. Prior to the release of the HM2 and MT2, we had the OD1, the DS1, the ST1. What happened? Is it possible the heavy metal and Metal Zone pedals are based on earlier iterations of the Overdrive and Distortion? A year after the HM2 was released, we had the Super Feedbacker Distortion DF2, which sort of makes sense, DS1, DF2, until the Turbo Distortion DS2 was released in 1987. Then there's the OD2 Turbo Overdrive, which makes sense, OD1, OD2, but then comes the Digital Metalizer MZ2.
MZ2? Metal Zone 2? Oh wait, no, that's the MT2.
This was followed by the Overdrive Distortion OS2, which, given the S in the title, should have probably been called the Overdrive Stortion.
They probably didn't want people to confuse it with their future pedal, the Extortion. You know, the only Boss pedal endorsed by the Mafia.
As it turns out, the Metal Zone is the third in the line of metal pedals released by Boss, and apparently, third time's the charm.
The Metal Zone is one of the best-selling Boss pedals of all time. Let me say that again. The Metal Zone is one of the best-selling Boss pedals of all time.
The Heavy Metal HM2 comes out in 1983. Not super popular, discontinued in 1991. The Digital Metalizer MZ2 comes out in 1987.
From what I understand, the MZ2 has distortion, distortion and chorus, and distortion and delay.
Discontinued 1992. A year before the discontinuation of the MZ2, following the discontinuation of the HM2, we had the release of the Metal Zone MT2.
And the rest, as they say, is history. 30 years later, the Boss MT2 Metal Zone remains on store shelves everywhere, with the reputation of one of the most hated effects guitar pedals of all time.
Hold on. Why is it called Metal Zone? Zone. An area or stretch of land having a particular characteristic, purpose, or use, or subject to particular restrictions. Synonyms: metal area, metal belt, metal ground, metal region, metal section, metal sector, metal territory, metal band. Metal circuit, metal realm.
Now that's a good name.
Metal segment, metal sphere, metal tract.
I think I get it. It's like an approximation of metal, like an all-encompassing demarcation of the metal sound. Step into the Metal Zone and get fucked.
It kind of sounds like a store that specializes in selling different types of metal.
You know what a better name for this pedal would have been? Metal.
Boss has distortion, overdrive, delay, chorus. But those are effects, you say. Metal is not an effect.
Well, neither is Heavy Metal HM2. Digital Metalizer, MZ2, whatever that means. Hyper Metal, HM3. And don't forget, Metalcore, ML2, which, come to think of it, sounds like a flavor of Ben & Jerry's core line of ice cream that you wouldn't want to eat.
Who came up with Metal Zone?
I feel like the name has something to do with the hatred of this pedal. It's just one big head scratcher.
Had the HM2 Heavy Metal been a success, would that be the pedal topping the internet's worst pedal ever lists? Would the Metal Zone even exist?
The Metal Zone must have some redeeming qualities. There's gotta be a reason this thing's been around for 30 years. let's take a trip into the metal zone. I don't know, I'm not really a metal guy. Metal doesn't really sound half bad, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some weird stuff going on. I've never heard this amp quite sound like this, but I don't know, for like a distortion pedal, I could get down with this. Oh, ooh. Yikes. I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I get it. Yeah, I mean, overall, I don't know. I honestly thought it was going to be worse. I could see you having some pretty usable sound. I could see there being some usable sounds in there. Yeah.
One thing's for sure, the Metal Zone will continue to reign with the reputation of the worst pedal ever. Even if a worse pedal happens to come along, the MT-2 has got longevity and history, not to mention a corporate conglomerate churning out copies of it like a Xerox machine.
In my mind, the only thing that could take the title from the Boss MT-2 Metal Zone of being the worst pedal ever is another pedal that's been around for at least as long as this one has. And is there even another pedal out there like that? I give the Boss MT-2 Metal Zone my final score of fan trash tick. Here's to another 30 years of Metal Zone shit talking.
Hanging out, gonna tell you what that give's all about. Trash all fantastic, trash all fantastic, trash.